This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. In what we think is a stunning development, the Italian government is threatening to take a couple of car brand names from Stellantis and give them to Chinese car companies if they build cars in Italy. The brands the government wants to take are Auto Bianchi and Innocenti, which have not been in use since the 1990s. But they're still remembered fondly, and that could help Chinese automakers to get instant name recognition. An Italian law that came into effect last December allows the government to take over brands that have not been used for 5 years. The government pressured Stellantis to increase production in Italy to 1 million units a year, which the company said it would do, but not without outside help. And last year, it fell well short of that million, making 752,000 cars in Italy. So it sure looks like the government is making this threat to put more pressure on Stellantis. Tesla is delaying its Robotaxi event by 2 months. Several months ago, Elon Musk said Tesla would unveil the model on August 8th, but Bloomberg reports that the event has been delayed until October so Tesla can build more prototypes. According to people familiar with the decision, the design team working on the project was told to change certain elements of the vehicle. Optimism over the event helped fuel an 11-day surge of Tesla stock, which added $257 billion to its market cap. But Tesla's stock fell 8.4% yesterday, due mostly to the delay, which is the largest drop it's seen since January. It looks like VW's Cariad unit still can't get its future software system figured out. According to Germany's Manager magazine, the Volkswagen board made the decision last week to delay a couple of vehicles that are supposed to be built on its new SSP platform. It says there's several reasons for the delay, but it still includes software issues. The EV version of the Golf has been pushed back by 15 months and won't launch until 2029, and a large SUV called the T-Sport was pushed back by 3 years to 2031. SSP was supposed to replace all of its other platforms, but it looks like VW might have to stick with what it's got for a while longer. And it also likely helps explain why it's investing up to $5 billion in Rivian to get access to its software tech. But Rivian also needed to make that deal. It not only helps ensure that the startup has the cash to launch its R2 models, as well as resume construction of its plant in Georgia. But the automaker is having a hard time securing funding provided by the Inflation Reduction Act because of its relationship with the UAW. Bloomberg reports that U.S. Department of Energy officials told Rivian it would need to take a friendlier position with the union if it expects to receive federal funds. As you can probably guess, Rivian's workforce is currently not unionized. But Bloomberg says it's not exactly clear what the DOE means by friendlier. It could include some public statement or action that would indicate Rivian is open to a union.
There's nothing wrong with heavy metal.
Hey, lighten up.
But with world-class composite material, Teijin Automotive Technologies makes vehicles lighter, safer, and more eco-friendly.
We're really enjoying the diversity at this year's Goodwood Festival, which kicked off yesterday in England. Several Chinese companies, including BYD's ultra-luxury brand Yangwang, are there. Gazoo reports attendees were treated to a dance show from the U9 thanks to its Dassault technology, which is an active suspension system that allows it to do wild stuff like even jump slightly off the ground. And while many of the vehicles that compete in the Festival of Speed are supercars like the U9, Ford took the opportunity to reveal the Raptor T1 Plus, a totally tricked-out-to-car racer that's powered by a modified 5-liter Coyote V8. It's not going to be sitting around for long either. Its first official race is in less than a month at a Baja event in Hungary. But our personal favorite comes from Audi. It built the recreation of a car from the 1930s whose development never got much past a piece of paper. The Auto Union Type 52 was to be marketed as the Schnell sports wagon and was meant to be like a street-legal version of the famous Auto Union Silver Arrow Grand Prix cars, but it would still be able to be used for endurance races like Le Mans or the Mille Miglia. The new version is over 5 meters or more than 17.5 feet long, weighs 1,450 kilograms or about 3,200 pounds, and like the original was supposed to have, it features a supercharged 16-cylinder engine. But this one has 6 liters of displacement and produces about 520 horsepower. It's a bit of a shame it took over 90 years to build it, but I'm happy that someone took the time to do it. Jaguar is blowing up its lineup. Automotive News reports it's cutting 5 models: the XE and XF sedans, the F-Type, and the E-Pace and I-Pace. Only the F-Pace crossover will remain. Jaguar is transitioning to an all-electric brand and plans to introduce 3 EVs in the next 3 years, the first of which is supposed to be introduced next year. Jaguar CEO Adrian Mardell told investors that it's cutting the models because none of them made money, which will help boost its margins. But Jaguar isn't the only automaker chopping vehicles from its lineup. Nissan is dropping most of its sedans in the U.S. Production of the Maxima ended last year. Production of the Versa is scheduled to end in April of 2025, and there's no plan for a next-gen version. Production of the Altima will end in 2026, and Nissan is undecided if it will make a new one. And that means the Sentra will be the only sedan in Nissan's U.S. lineup until it introduces an electric sedan early next decade. However, it's not surprising Nissan is hanging on to the Sentra. It was the second best-selling vehicle in its lineup in the first half of the year, with nearly 90,000 sold. Toyota's GR86 has a lot of street cred amongst enthusiasts, and Gazoo Racing just sweetened the package. It used feedback from professional race drivers to make the car better planted, have better steering response, and better linearity. Specifically, it changed the shock absorber damping characteristics, gave the electric power steering crisper response, modified throttle response for manual transmissions, allowed higher revs during downshifts with automatic transmissions, and engine torque was changed for better blipping. But now for the bad news. These upgrades are only available in Japan for now. Gazoo is also coming out with a limited edition 86 with green and bronze accents that look sensational. Just 200 will be built, and there's a lottery in Japan to see who gets them. On Autoline After Hours yesterday, Rick Wainshill from a company called Cloud Theory pointed out that the EPA rule change a couple of months ago on how much market share electric vehicles have to reach now really benefits automakers who have a lineup of PHEVs and hybrids and hurts those who do not.
With the change in the regulatory picture that occurred in March, that now instead of a 67% EV target of production in 2032, that was relaxed to 35%, and PHEVs were a bigger proportion of where the industry needed to go. Now all of a sudden the competitive dynamic shifted greatly. So all the traditional OEMs that have very well-developed hybrid lineups, Toyota, for the most part, Toyota is very well developed there, but Hyundai, Ford, Honda, Stellantis, they were in a better position because they had a secondary path to meet these regulatory requirements. And now all of a sudden, Tesla and Rivian, which are, they have one path to follow. They're, in Tesla's case, they're the 800-pound gorilla of EVs, but they still only had one card to play because they can't go down the hybrid path.
Wainshill had a lot of good intel to share with us, and you can catch that entire show on our website or YouTube channel. And that brings us to the end of today's show. Thanks for making Autoline a part of your day, and I hope that you have a great weekend.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering boost your game. MEDC, where Michigan businesses are powering the future of mobility. And by Teijin Automotive Technologies, the formula for better mobility.
Intrepid's NeoVi Pi, allowing automotive engineers to interface, capture, and monitor vehicle data using Raspberry Pi. As a matter of fact, it's the automotive industry's first robust platform for Raspberry Pi, featuring Intrepid CAN-FD technology and Raspberry Pi Compute Module. The NeoVi Pi is designed for automotive environments, allowing use with relative power ranges and applications. In addition, the NeoVi Pi enables you to use the Raspberry Pi for compute while avoiding additional development to adapt to network environments. That makes the NeoVi Pi powerful enough to solve your vehicle network problems, yet small enough to fit in your backpack. One of many Intrepid tools used for developing zonal architecture and software-defined vehicles.
Keeping your heart racing in and out of the gym. That's what really matters. Bridgestone Potenza Sport AS tires with a 50,000-mile limited warranty.
Michigan is leading the charge in mobility and innovation, and I can't think of a better state to be in.
Wards is the industry leader for news, data, and analysis. That's why companies across the globe subscribe to our premium service, maybe even your own. Log in for subscriber access now. Check your company's intranet for details and rely on wardsauto.com to keep you informed.